Let's go on a tour of what you can do inside Google Docs. So here we are inside a new Google document. And you should notice at the top there's a place that says Untitled Document, and you can click on that to give it a title. So you just type it right in the box. This is my document, whatever you want to call it. And underneath that, you're going to see that there are the typical sort of menus that you would see in any word processing program. Notice that after I titled my document, this folder icon appeared, and if I click on that, that will allow me to place it in a particular folder in my Google Drive. So if I click on it, right now it tells me that I'm in my Google Drive, and I can scroll down and select any of these folders, and if there are folders inside them, I can access those by clicking this little arrow. So if I just grab a folder, like I say I'm going to put it in this one, then I would click this blue move button and that would put it inside there. Notice there's also a little folder icon here, so if I wanted to create a new folder to put it in, I could do that too. And you can do that as a first level folder like these are, or as a subfolder inside of folders. Okay, underneath all these menus, we have this toolbar, and there's a lot of shortcuts on there. So most of these things you can get to in a second way, but it's kind of handy that they're available here as shortcuts as well. So notice we have undo and redo, and for each of these, if you hover on them, it'll show you what it does. Here's a shortcut for print and a shortcut for spelling and grammar check. If you want to look at your document in a different size, you can click on the 100, the little drop down arrow next to the 100%, and then you could choose a different size. So if you would just like to look at your document in a bigger way, you can do that here. Here's where you would access your styles, like if you want something to just be normal text or you want to make a heading or whatever. Here's your font, of course. And if you want to get more fonts because you love fonts, you just click on this and then follow the on-screen prompts, and you can get there's so many fonts available. Here's your size. So you can choose any of these default sizes, or you can just type a value right in here. So if you want something bigger than 96, you can get that just by clicking up here and then typing whatever size you want. Here's bold, italic, underline. This is your text color. And then if you want highlighting behind your text, so if you want to type in black, but you want to highlight it in yellow, here's where you can do that. You can select some text or a picture and insert a link. You can insert a comment. I'll demo that in just a minute. And you can insert an image. And the images you insert can be something that you upload from your computer. So if you have a picture on your computer, you can do that. Or you can just click here to search the web. And this little panel opens up over here. And then I could search an image, elephant. And you can even be more specific. You can say the color that you want the picture to be. So I could type like black and white or clip art. And when I do that, I get something that looks more like a clip art elephant. I can click on it and then just click insert, and that will go into my document. So that's what we did with this button. Here are our alignment buttons. So left, center, right align, and justified. This is our spacing shortcut. So single, 1.15, 1.5, double space, and then you've got some other things that you might find handy. Here's where you get your numbered list and your bulleted list, and those are probably the ones that you'll use most often. So let's take a look at some of the other things that are in the menus above. So under File, we have some typical kinds of things like new and open and print and page setup. What you will notice you don't have is save. And that's because with Google Docs, the changes are just automatically saved every few seconds. So you never have to save. You don't have to find the button that says save and click save. It just automatically gets saved. You do have a couple of other things too. Here's make a copy. So if you have a document that you see somewhere and you like and you want to make your own copy so that you own it and can edit it, you just go to make a copy. Download will allow you to save your Google Doc as a Word document or as a PDF. Those are probably the two most common things, but you can see there's other options in there. You can email it as an attachment, so if you need to send a document somewhere, that's a pretty cool feature, I think, especially if when someone opens their email, you want them to just see the document so that they don't have to click on something to open a document. You can do that with email as attachment. So if I click on that, notice you can attach it as a PDF or as a Word doc, but if you go all the way down, paste the item itself into the email, you can do that. And then when you open the email, it's just the document. Then you just type, who is getting it here and what you want the subject to be, and you can even send a message, and then you just click send if you want to do that. Okay, let's see. Version history is a really cool feature, and I'm going to show that after I make a couple more changes to my document. You can also move it to a folder from here. You can put it in the trash. Page setup will get you, your margins, and do you want it to be portrait or landscape? You can change the color of the page. So let's say I want my page to be yellow, and you've got some other sort of default sizes in there. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And now notice my page is yellow, except my elephant is on a white background. So I can grab one of those corners and just make it a little bit smaller. So now I have a yellow page with my white elephant on it. And then I also have print down here if I want that. Okay, under the edit menu, we have, of course, undo and redo, cut, copy, and paste, select all. Those are the ones probably most people use. Find and replace is handy if you're looking for a particular thing and you want to replace it with other text. Under insert, we have all kinds of things you can insert into the document. So you can insert an image, and we already did that, a table, a drawing. So there aren't native drawing tools in Google Docs, but you can get them by going to Google Drawing, and you can do that right from this insert menu. A chart if you want, so if you need to put in some kind of graph, a horizontal line, of course, a footnote. Special characters if you need Greek letters or math symbols, or I use this sometimes for a degree sign or for arrows for chemistry. You can insert an equation. You can put in headers and footers. Those are handy. You can add page numbers. You can insert a link, a comment, and a bookmark would be like essentially a link within your document. So if you bookmark some titles in a document, then you can click around from title to title without having to scroll through the whole document. Okay, under format, we have the typical kinds of things you would have. So text features, including that's where you'll find strike through, subscript, and superscript. So those don't get shortcuts on the toolbar, but they are available. Align and indent, spacing. Here's where you would get to columns. So if you want to have a 2-column or 3-column document, you can do that. And if you want to adjust the amount of space between the columns, you can do that there under more options. Here's the bulleted and numbered lists, and list options will allow you to like restart a numbered list each time you come to one or just continue the numbering. Okay, under tools, we have a lot of interesting things. So here's spelling and grammar check if you want to run those things. If you need a word count, you can get that here. Explore will help you find resources and create citations for them. So that's something you might want to check out. Maybe I'll do that in just a second for you as a demo. You can translate the whole document, essentially using Google Translate. Voice typing is something that I want to demonstrate for just a minute. So some of these things will be really handy, I think, for you to investigate. So I'm going to click on voice typing. And notice when I do that, I get this little microphone. And right now it's telling me that I'm going to be recording in English, and I just have to click here to speak. So I'm going to create a new line, and I'm going to click and say, this is a picture of an elephant. And then I'll click that red microphone button and just do some adjusting in my text like that. So it will record what I say, and sometimes you have to do a little bit of adjustments, or you have to speak the punctuation, so you would need to say like period or comma or question mark, kind of like when you're voice texting. But when you're all done with it, then you can just go ahead and click that X and it'll go away. Now I could highlight the text, and I can, make it bold and make it big, and turn it a different color and highlight it in something. Right? So we have a whole bunch of features there that you can do. Underneath add-ons, all of these are little, almost like software applications that you can add on to increase the functionality of Google Docs. And you can see I have a whole bunch of them. You can get add-ons by clicking on the word Get Add-ons, and then you'll get this pop-up window that'll show you some that are possibilities. So there are all kinds of add-ons. You could really go down a rabbit hole exploring these. When you look, you'll see some will say they're installed. So this is a bibliography maker that I have installed. Here's a chart maker I have installed. You can take a look, so this allows you to do music notation or create word clouds, generate equations. So there's all kinds of things in here. If you're interested in one, you can just click on it. So like, let's click on this music notation one. We'll get this little, like more information about it, right? So we'll have some screenshots. We can see, what does it allow us to do? So basically it allows us to write music. And here's an overview about it. So we can read more, including there's reviews. So we can see just last week someone said it didn't work and someone else said it's really great. So you get all sort of versions. Up here it'll show you how many people have reviewed it and used it and how many stars it has, and that's probably helpful to know. And if you want to use it, then you can just so ordinarily here, you would be able to click a button to install it. It looks like my administration has disabled this one. So this is not one that's available for people who work at the Mentor schools for whatever reason. And when you're done in this window, you can just click this X to make it go away. So you may want to explore add-ons if you're interested in using those. And then last is if you want to get help on Docs, you can click here and just open up Docs Help, and then it will ask you to type what you're trying to do, and you can do that and seek help. I'm just going to show two more, I guess, quick things. So let's go to Explore, and notice that that panel opens up on the right-hand side, and it already knows that I'm writing about elephants. So I can look, scroll through, see if there's anything here that I want to learn. Let's click on More and see what it tells me. Not getting much there, so we'll go back. A lot of pictures, so I can grab one. Okay, that one's kind of cute, right? So I'm going to click Insert, and it's going to insert the picture. And so it's almost like a little bit of a research tool that you can use. So you may want to check out Explore for some options. Okay, the last thing that I want to show you is that version history I mentioned. So underneath the File menu, we're going to go over to Version History, and I'm going to say See Version History. So I'm going to click on that. And now over here is my version history. And what it's going to show me is what my document looked like from the time it was created until now. So if I click here, it's going to show me I started out with a white page. And then if I click on this little drop down arrow, it's going to show me the changes that I made. So at 133, I had the elephant picture. And then at 135, the background turned yellow. And then at 138, I typed some text. And at 139, I altered the text. And then my current version looks like this. So if I decided, well, I don't really want this picture, or maybe I had done a bunch of work and I wanted my document to go back to looking like this, so I could click on there and I could go to More Actions and I could name this version. If I called it like single picture with text or whatever, I could make a copy of it. And if I wanted to go back to this one, I could click this blue button that says Restore this version. So something I've started using version history for in my classroom is when I type my subplans when I'm absent, there's so much information that you provide about like where do you find the remote and what's the attendance procedure. Those kinds of things I always want to have in my subplans, and then the actual activities might change. So I will type my subplans one time and then just use that same document over and over and just create new versions of it. And sometimes I'll even name my versions, like this is the day I gave a quiz, or this is the test lesson plans, so that if I'm going to give another quiz or another test on a day when I'm out, I can just grab that version and reset it and then just make a couple of edits. So that's something I'm really liking about version history and name that version. When you're done, you just click on that little arrow and then it puts you back into the document. Now over here, we have a couple of things that we should look at. So let's say that I want to make a comment on this text. I can highlight it and I can click here on the comment button. And then I could type, do you think the text should be blue? And then I have that as a comment, maybe for me or maybe for someone I'm sharing the document with. And if someone else wants to respond to it, they can click on that and then just create a response. And when I think we're done with the comment, I can click the resolve button and then it will go away. And if I click on share, then I can share this with someone. So notice you can just enter someone's email address. And then here, if you have the pen icon being shown, then the person you're sending it to can edit it. If you have the little comment icon, the person you're sending it to can comment. So they can't edit it, but they can make comments on it. Or you can have can view, and then you have the eye icon, and then the person you're sending it to can see it, but they can't actually make changes to it. If instead I click on advanced, now I can do some other things. So this shows that right now I'm the only one who has access, but if I click on change here, then I have some other levels of things. So if I click here, then the people who work at Mentor Schools who I send the link to would be able to access my document. If I click here, anyone potentially at Mentor Schools can find it and access it. If I click here, anyone anywhere who I send the link to can access it. And if I put it here, anyone can find it, even if I don't send them the link. And again, notice here we have this drop-down menu that says can view. So if I want people to only be able to see it and not edit it, I would want to leave it as can view. But I can also change that to can edit and can comment. I'm going to go to can edit. So when you do that and you, let's go, I don't know, here I guess, and I click can edit and save. Now down here I have these two checkboxes that you might want to use. So let's say anyone can edit this document, but I want to prevent editors from changing access or giving other people access to the document, so I would check that button. And if I want to make it so that no one can download or print or copy my document, I would want to click this. So maybe we're going to work on something collaboratively, but I don't want other people to be able to share it. I want to save that job for myself, and I don't want people to be able to download it and print it or copy it. So then I would want to make sure I check those boxes and then click Save Changes. So hopefully that's enough to get you started with Google Docs. I hope you'll enjoy using it.